This is going to be a quick step-by-step on how to add a factory style 3x lock from your OEM fob. Remote start. First thing you're gonna do is obviously have the car running, and then turn your steering wheel to the left, and then you'll expose. Let me see if I can get it real quick. Let me start the car real quick for you. What you have to do is turn it, and obviously I already have this cracked open. You will basically take off a Phillips head screwdriver right here, and then on the other side another Phillips head screwdriver. Once you have that out, you're gonna need one of these, or you can have a flathead. I highly recommend you get one of these plastic tools, but you will wedge it here, and then obviously work your way side to side until it pops. Same goes on the other side, and once they separate, this is what it's gonna look like. You can just take that off, put it aside. You'll also take off this side piece right here. You're gonna carefully pry it like that. Only held by clips, so don't be scared. Put it aside for now. And this one is gonna be the tricky one. So you're gonna insert this on the bottom. Let me put it back right there. You insert it on the bottom, pop it off, and that will reveal another hidden screw right here. I know some people might just yank this off. You will break that piece if you don't pop this off. So obviously I already got it removed, and you pretty much have to just pull this a little bit side to side. And that would leave you access right here to mount the unit and have more room to move around. That way you can kind of route the wires that you need. So let's get to the harness. Once you have all that panels removed, we're gonna go ahead and get to the steering wheel, and you're gonna be looking for this plug right here, black plug at the steering column lock. So you're gonna depress the locking mechanism and then pull it out. It's this piece right here. So just press it in, and then we'll release the tab, and then we'll go ahead and start with this one. Plug the T harness in. It'll be the VS2 and VS1. So plug the female to the original plug that came off, and then plug the male side to the top one right here, and that would take care of the steering column lock. So here's the first thing you have to do is obviously plug it in, leave a little slack like that, and then zip tie the piece right here. That way it doesn't move around, and then we're gonna follow this harness, and it should come out right about right here. This is where you're gonna zip tie majority of the excess wire. When you zip tie everything like this, you want to leave a little bit of slack. That way whenever you telescope the steering wheel, it doesn't get too tight or catch onto something or something like that. So always don't make it too tight, leave a little slack but not too much. So let's go ahead and run everything like that, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like once it's all zip tied. Just to show the update, as you can see, I have it zip tied along this harness, and then it coming out right here. And I'll show you why you kind of want to leave a little bit of slack. As you can see, I'm going to telescope it. You notice how it's riding with it and it's not getting so tight. That's kind of what you want. That way in an event the customer do sell the vehicle and somebody wants to obviously have the steering wheel closer, and then they pull it like that, then nothing would get too tight or nothing would break in half. I have seen that before from a shop in town. Actually seen quite a bit of those where they make it so damn tight that when a customer pulls it or somebody else drives the vehicle, it just ends up pulling all the wires. So, but be cautious about that. Like I said, just leave it a little slack. As you can see, they're not really uber tight in there. As you can see, I can still move it around. That way you want it to kind of ride along with it. So, and it's also zip tied right there. That way it's not touching this metal right here. So it's right here. But let's go ahead and move on to the next step. Alright, the next plug you're going to be looking for is, you're going to go under. It'll be where the fuse box is this plug right here. So depress that little locking tab and then pull that plug out, and then we'll install the T harness. Alright, for the plugs, you're going to need to plug in JS8, plug it into JS6. Also, you will go ahead and plug in the JS4 with the JS5, since this one doesn't have a hood pin, so you need to put the jumper just like that. And then I went ahead and routed the wire that's going underneath that fuse box to that little opening right here. You can already see it kind of dangling, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug that in and then show you what it looks like after that. So here is the T-harness already plugged in, so we're gonna go ahead and tuck it into this little cubby hole right here, and this part would be done. Just like that. And also make sure when you plug everything in, make sure you hear a click. That makes it, that pretty much shows that it is locked in there and it's not just gonna come off. Already got everything zip tied right there. The plug on the bottom is secured, zip tied to the hood latch cable. Before you plug in the DC3 module, there's gonna be a loop right here that you need to cut and basically make it two separate pieces. Since this is automatic, you have to cut that loop. So let's go ahead and start plugging everything in and program the module. To set up, I had to do a screen recording. As you can see, it's showing here that you need to push the ignition twice and it should flash or turn solid red. There's a solid red. And then there you go. That's step number 3, is flashing green. Go ahead and shut it off. Press it 1. And then press unlock on the factory remote. And it did that, solid green too. We're gonna go ahead and start the vehicle. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it down the phone real quick. Before you program anything, make sure there's no error codes. That way you pretty much plug everything in. No errors right here. So we're gonna go ahead and move back right here. So what you have to do now is hold the brake pedal. I'm gonna try to see if I can do this. Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and hold the brake pedal with my other feet. And then you're gonna press the module programming button, which is on this side right here. You'll see a red. Once you see that red, go ahead and release the brake pedal. You saw it turn green. And that pretty much is programmed. Before you put everything back, go ahead and test it. 1, 2, 3. And make sure everything is functioning properly, no lights. The blower motor is going, no error codes other than the seat belt. So once you confirm that, the only downfall in these ones is once you open the door, it will shut down, so you do have to start it again. That is a Toyota security feature that preferably keep it like that. Show you real quick as soon as you unlock it. So just be worried about that. It's not a big deal. Just go ahead and start it back up. But other than that, once everything checks out, go ahead and put everything back in reverse and you are pretty much done. Just to test everything out, press lock 3 times. 1, 2, 3. It'll run for about 15 minutes, and then whenever you are ready to leave, it unlocks. As soon as you open it, pretty much just get in, restart it, and off you go. So hopefully you guys learned a little something. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment. Please click subscribe. That'll help me out a lot. Other than that, that's it for today.